Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome to the Newbie Real Estate Investor of New Jersey show. I'm Jonathan Boyle.
And I'm Joey Chan.
And we're here with special guest.
My name is Sam Kwak, and I am one of the Kwak Brothers.
Okay, awesome. So, we'll get right into it as we always do in most shows. So, Sam, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so once again, my name is Sam, one of the Kwak Brothers, real estate investor, and I'm a full-time real estate investor today, and I teach real estate as well. So, in terms of real estate investing, my brother and I collectively we have 76 units, or I should say we had 80 units, and then this month we just sold our 8 unit, and then we're in the process of selling our 24 unit. All in the name because we're about to pick up. We're putting together a $10 million fund, and we're going to be picking up some properties in Florida, and we have 8 fix and flips that we're doing in Virginia. And we have an Airbnb out in Indiana. So that's what we're doing today. And been doing real estate since 2014 and really didn't get serious into, picking up units and properties since late 2016. So late 2016 is when we started seeing our some results. And today we are down to 72 units. Yeah.
Wow. That's just a lot to digest for anyone.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm pretty sure even the the audience might be a little confused. So just so everyone's aware, we're actually here at a beautiful hotel in Fort Lee. Just unfortunately, he doesn't have a site for us to go to as a lot of our other guests. But So Sam, as far as your real estate, how did you get started?
Yeah. So honestly, I got started like a lot of people. Read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I got psyched. Right? Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know this world existed." Yeah. Prior to when I was 19, I didn't even know the word entrepreneurship even existed. Like I was like, "What is that word that people are using?" Like entrepreneur, and I thought prior to being 19, I thought the only way to live life or create money was to work for somebody, like to have a job, right? And when I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, like everything just shattered in my brain. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the whole world. It's kind of like, and this is a bad reference, but it's like someone who lived in North Korea and they thought like, oh my gosh, we live in the best country in the world. Yeah. And then you come out and I'm like, no, we don't, right? So I honestly, that's a whole, switch and shift in perspective. And after that, like many, started looking at YouTube videos and listening to podcasts. Bought a bunch of books on real estate investing, and I struggled big time, mainly because I was scared. I think a lot of people are, right? I was scared to take action, and I was more so scared of success, right? I was scared, what if someone says yes to my offer? Like, I'm gonna throw an offer out here, but what if they say yes? Oh my gosh, like, what if I have to do this deal, right? And what if I have to make money? And I was a little scared. And what really changed everything was through different networks and different seminars I attended. Ended up meeting someone in my area that had over 200 rental doors. Started working with this guy. Even worked for the guy for free for a whole entire year, and just learning what he did, shadowing what we did. And one thing that we picked up the most, or I should say one particular skill set that we picked up was the skill of negotiating for owner financing. Now, for those who don't know what owner financing is, it's a concept where you have an arrangement between you, the buyer, and the seller, and you make monthly payments to the seller, just like a bank, in exchange for the ownership of the property. So it's kind of like, you don't need to go through the banks. You're just part of the arrangement. So that's something that we got really good at, is getting the sellers to say yes to taking monthly payments instead of doing all cash or going to the bank. So that's something that we got really, really good at. And of course, being at the time we were 23 and 21 years old. We didn't have all the money in the world, right? We didn't have money to put down payment. We didn't have a dad who could give us small loan, $1 million, right? We wish. But so what ended up happening was, I felt frustrated. I felt like quitting. I think a lot of people fail in this business mainly because they quit too early, too prematurely. And I remember just like this, I was traveling. I was in a hotel room, and I didn't own a TV at the time. And I saw an episode of Shark Tank, right? The TV show Shark Tank. And I saw this one particular episode where this contestant walks in, and he goes on to say, "Hey, sharks, my name is such and such. Never owned a business, never made money in business, and here I am." And I'm like, this guy's gonna get creamed, right? I know the first guy who's gonna turn him down, which is Kevin O'Leary, right? I know Kevin O'Leary is gonna say no sales, no deal. So obviously that's the notion that I had, and then this guy started pitching. He's dressed really, really sharp too. So he starts to talk, he starts to pitch his idea. He had even a packet that he could hand out to the sharks, and he was, he was very articulate. He explained himself very, very well. He answered all the questions that the sharks were throwing at him, like piece of cake, right? This guy was super confident. And long story short, my jaw literally dropped when Kevin O'Leary was the first one to take the deal. Wow. Said, "Hey, I'll give you $100,000 for 20% equity in your company." And I'm like, that is like of course I was wrong, right? Like I judged too soon. And at the same time, a light bulb went in my head and said, you know what? If that guy can do that, like never done his business, never made money, what if I could do the same thing in real estate? Mm-hmm. What if I can put together some sweet deal, put together a nice package, literally be, I can answer all the questions that people can throw at me. What if I can be that and then go out to some, wealthy people mm-hmm. and raise money, right? In exchange for a piece of the deal. So Daniel and I, my brother and I, did just that. We started going out creating networks of attorneys, doctors. We ran into a guy, a doctor out in San Francisco who was part of a medical association, and this guy introduced us to all the doctors in that association. I'm like, all right, we got all the money we need. So the first investor that we got, a partner, put in 60 grand. And we used that towards our first down payment, and we ended up buying 4 single-family houses, and that was our first deal. And of course, we were super psyched. Yeah. I was 24 at the time, and my brother was 22. 24 and 22-year-old, right? Buying 4 houses. Here we are. Showed up to closing. Showed up and we done this in an attorney's office. So the seller's attorney looked at us funny. I'm like, "Are you sure you guys can buy this house? You guys seem too little young." I'm like, "Nope, we're good. We're ready to go." And then we ended up buying it. This property, the portfolio together, cash flow is $700 a month. So 24, 20 years old, that pays your rent in Chicago. Yeah. So that was our first deal. And then a month later, we done another deal, bought a 3-unit. A month later, we bought a 4-unit. Pipeline was full. Kept going, and then we did a fix and flip at the same time. And then that September, we bought an 8-unit. October, we bought a 36 unit. In November, we bought a 24 unit. So in just that 1 year, we went from 0 to 75 rental units in that just 1 year. And we were on fire. We were just put an offer. And then the year after that, we started to cool down a little bit. We started, getting into Airbnb, and rest is history. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Gonna take a minute to digest that.
I'm just thinking because there's so many questions I want to ask just from that statement. Yeah. And anyone listening, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure Sam be happy to answer them later on. So as a newbie, let's say, and you approached people professionally, what did you approach them with exactly to be able for them to believe in you to fund your deals?
So, starting out as 22 years old, nobody believes you, right? They're like, "Oh, you're just a kid. What do you know?" Right? The big thing is when you don't have credibility, you have to create it. So credibility and confidence stems from knowing what to do in that situation. I was in the Army. In the Army, if a brand new person joining the Army gets thrown in the battle, they wouldn't know what they'll get themselves killed and they'll get their buddy killed. But with proper training and education as well as guidance, definitely. The soldiers, right, can run into battle with confidence, knowing that they know what they're doing. They got their buddies watching their back. You guys are partners, so you guys can watch each other's back.
He's also a vet as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I served 5 years in the Marine Corps. So.
Hey, thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Yeah, boom.
Same.
But it's the confidence, right? Knowing that you got your buddy covered, but you also have the knowledge and you do so much of that training that it just becomes natural, right? I mean, you would relate, you would drill over and over and over again, the same movement over and over, so that when something happens, it's instinct, like boom, it's like breathing. So say when it's applied to real estate investing, you should almost become an expert in a sense that you know a lot about putting deals together, analyzing deals, even before you have done a deal, right? I know a friend who did 100 virtual deals, like imaginary deals. He literally took a deal or took 100 properties, did the comps and analysis, estimated the repair, and he tracked as someone else that actually did the deal. And he was able to track the sale price, what it was sold for, and he was like, by the time it was done, running through all 100 exercises, he was 95% accurate in terms of the comps and what the ARV was. And this person is someone that I would, vote with my money, right? This person is someone that I can trust because they've gone through the different scenarios, they've learned. So when approaching someone, having that confidence and that credibility, self-spoken credibility, does a lot. And if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone believe in you, right? So make sure you believe in your own ability to actually handle different situations, no matter what they are. Yeah.
No, that definitely makes a lot of sense because, just going back to even when I got started, I did the same thing, analyzed at least 100 deals, listened to over 100 podcasts, and then I even got my real estate license. So I did everything I could to truly understand the market. Right. So once that deal came through, kind of like you, I was like, oh shit, I got to perform.
Right.
But, I was still pretty confident in the numbers when it came to the rehab, to the ARV, and, the purchase, I knew everything was perfect. And then as far as the funding, because I had that confidence, because I was able to articulate it really well, and then show it in a nice little PowerPoint presentation. The original funder, he still funds a few of a lot of my properties today.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about real estate investing is all you need is that one win. Yeah. Right, with someone that invests with you or becomes your partner, just see that one victory.
Yeah. So that's important.
Yeah, now whenever I have a deal and I bring it to him, he just needs to know purchase, Reno, ARV. Right. He doesn't even care. Yeah. There was one he closed on with me maybe 4 months ago, and he just remembered. He's like, oh, by the way, can I get the scope of work just to look at it?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, here you go.
Yeah. Speed of trust. That's how it is.
Yeah. It's awesome to have a relationship like that, with someone. Yeah. So, just kind of backtracking a little bit, what did you do before you got into real estate?
Yeah. So funny you ask. Before I became a real estate investor, before I got into real estate investing, what happened was I was in college and I was in the Army Reserves. So that explains the timetable. Because some people are like, wait, you were in the Army, you went to college, and became a real estate investor, and you're 26? How do you fit all that in? Where does it all go? So I know some people are computing in their head. I'm like, hold on, this guy should be 37 by now. What's going on? As soon as I turned 3 years old, or not 3 years old, 3 days after I turned 18 years old, that's what I meant to say. 3 days after I became 18, enlisted in the Army, and I got out of the training and did my once a month drill thing. Went to school, and then I started a professional mobile DJ company. So that's where I get my public speaking from, is all those years and days of announcing Mr. and Mrs. John Smith, right? Over 100 iteration. But I was a professional DJ, and then I realized there was a moment where I realized that I can't keep on doing this, right? I wanted to start a family. Looking 10 years ahead, I'm like, do I really want to, come home 2 a.m. at night on the weekends when I can be spending time with the kids and family? I know you got kids, so you can relate, but I realized I had to make a shift. And I looked at what the wealthy individuals did, and back then, of course, Donald Trump wasn't president, so I looked at what Donald Trump did, right? And real estate. All the wealthy individuals from real estate, right? Oprah Winfrey, she's in real estate. Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually a real estate investor before he became an actor. So I'm like, okay, all the wealthy people have common denomination, and that's real estate. I want my piece of action in real estate too. So that's how I got in, or that's what I was doing before real estate investing. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few years, right? Yeah.
Awesome. So now I know that's how you got started, and you kind of explained a little bit about what you're doing now. Is there like a slight shift or a slight pivot of what you like have you changed like your strategy, and if so, why?
Yeah, so right now I've sort of shifted in the role that I do now is Daniel does more on the acquisition, the negotiation, and the contract side of he's the one that's in that forefront of real estate investing. I'm in more so the property management, managing our property managers, making sure that the ship stays afloat, so to speak. And then we have an education component where we teach and coach. So I run more of that show. So actually, what we're putting together is an AI-based property management software. So this property management software, if you guys hold any properties, meaning if you guys have any rental properties, property management can be very time-consuming, energy-consuming. It will kill you, like both mentally, spiritually. Because you're gonna deal with all sorts of people. Like, I wish there was a reality TV show with like tenants and like what the type of excuses they come up with. It's unbelievable.
I just gotta tell you a fun story that's actually recently going on. Joey knows all about it.
Right.
Like one of my tenants, she's getting evicted, going to court on the 1st. But fun story is she said she refuses to pay rent because someone keeps stealing her mail, and then also because her car keeps getting scratches on it. And she's had the police come, and she's actually blamed me for it.
Wow.
And it's funny, the cops looked, they think, because she works in Newark, they think that she just gets bumped by someone every now and then.
Yeah.
Or
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Fun stories, though.
I got plenty. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it in some in this podcast, but
you could probably top that, I'm sure.
So what my responsibility has been shifted towards, because I'm spending more time in a different type of growth in our business.
Right.
We're putting together an AI-based property management system where it's going to handle automatically text and email the tenants if they're late. Automatically handles the eviction process as far as like sending documents, and so we're building that. We're putting that together. We're set to release sometime early this winter of 2019. Who knows? Someone might be watching this in 2020. So the millions watching this later. So we're building that property management. I'm sort of managing that process. My role has shifted from being that front line of the real estate acquisition, and it's the market is, especially where I'm at Chicago. The market's weird in the sense that I think we're transitioning from seller market back to buyer market. So we've been doing less of buying, actually, more so selling and figuring out how to sell some of our portfolios. So that explains why we've sold the 8 unit this month, and then we're about to put together the deal to sell the 24 unit. And but at the same time we're buying, but we're in a different market. So
you mentioned you're doing stuff down in Florida.
Yep, northern Florida. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of what you're doing now. The other thing you talked about a little bit was before the show that you did some mentorship and things like that. Tell us a little more about what you're kind of doing.
Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
Because I know I don't want to be disrespectful of your podcast.
No, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so for only $199. No, I'm just kidding. Like the reason why you're here, guys, is to tell you guys about our pyramid compensation plan. No. So I do some mentorship. I do coaching. And so far we have about a good dozen of coaching students. We started this year, and it gives us an opportunity to build a network all across the United States. I have coaching students in California, of course, coaching students here in New Jersey. So if I ever want to do a deal, I can always call up my coaching students from California and say, hey, planning on doing a deal in California, let's do it together, or can you be my foot on the ground or team in the ground? So we have a coaching service as well as online program. But again, I don't want this to turn into a pitch, right? But that's something that's part of our business model, and helps us do more real estate too. Gives us the opportunity to network and expand our territory.
Yeah.
Okay. So that just brings me, because I know you're different than a lot of the people that we brought into the podcast, because this is mostly Newbie for Northern New Jersey, or New Jersey in general.
Sure.
What areas do you invest in and why?
Yeah, good question. So we actually looked at New Jersey. New Jersey is a very interesting market in the sense that I think it works better for fix and flip, like what you guys are doing. It's urbanizing, a lot of young people moving in, which means that there's a bigger pull for people wanting to buy homes. So we actually, the market that we actually chose to do fix and flip was Virginia. Virginia, one of the main reasons we have a partner there, but another reason is there's a lot of migration going into Virginia, and out of the people that's moving in, vast majority of them have at least a median income of $80,000 or more. So a lot of qualified home buyers moving in, and this is coming out of my brother's mouth, so it's not me and my research. It's reported that there's an appreciation of $5,000 on average $5,000 in Virginia. Now, of course, by the time you guys are watching this, it might be too late, so don't try to go after Virginia. So that's one area that we're doing fix and flips, and the other area, that northern Florida, is what we talked about. We're looking at units anywhere between 80 to 100 units. This is going to be a private fund. So that's what we're working on. We have Airbnbs that we're putting together in Indiana. And just give you guys a hint, we're doing this in one of the huge NCAA schools, big football. So anytime there's anytime football season, we're going to have a ton of bookings for our Airbnb. I mean, got groups of people coming in all at once. So we're doing Airbnbs there. And most of the rental properties we have is in the suburbs of Chicago, western suburbs of Chicago. I got one down in the south suburb near the Amazon fulfillment center, which is nice because I never have to worry about where to find tenants because they show up from Amazon, right? they work in Amazon. So all the applications that we get on that property, employer is Amazon, like 90% of the time. Wow. Amazon's huge as to like who they hire. So those are our main areas. Daniel does a lot of research as to which areas we need to go and tackle. So sort of give you guys a recap: Virginia, Northern Florida, Indiana. We even looked at Michigan, and of course Illinois, which is my home state.
Yeah. Nice. So how can people find you on social media?
Yep.
I know you're kind of like all over social media. What are the some of the channels or?
Yeah. So we've primarily focused on YouTube. So you can find us on YouTube, the Kwak Brothers, THEKWAK Brothers with the S. You'll find my pretty face there, along with my brother Daniel. And we have over 200 videos to date. All about real estate investing. Either we're interviewing someone, podcasts, how-to videos. It's all out there. And find us on YouTube. Shoot us a comment there. We usually try to reply. I mean, we get a ton of comments coming into our videos, so we try to reply. Or other than that, you can follow us on Facebook. Just search my name, and you'll find me with a picture with me on a suit. So yeah.
Nice. Are you on Instagram at all?
I am. I am on Instagram. We're about to hire our Instagram manager. So we're about to do some makeover on Instagram, because right now I've been doing Instagram and it just sucks. So it's terrible. So we're gonna hire probably a 14-year-old to do the Instagram for us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's a 20-year-old. Snapchat's 14.
Oh, is that? Oh man. Okay. I can't. I thought I was young, but now I feel old. Some of these new kids coming in. So there you go.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I guess some like last questions for you before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
What's some of the best advice you've ever gotten, and what's some advice you would give someone that's new that would get started?
Yeah, because when you're new, it's so easy to. Number one, it's easy to get distracted because there's shiny things everywhere, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like I want to do that, I want to do this. It's super important that and make a commitment to yourself the next, if you're really committed to real estate investing, make that next 5 years and just focus on real estate until you hit $1 million mark. And the reason why I say this is a lot of people start like 6 months, they build something a little bit, and then they're like, I'm not making money, so I'm gonna go do this online, CBM oil or whatever they call it these days, and sell that online. And then of course they work on that for like 6 months, and it doesn't work out, and they're doing something else. And keep at something for at least 5 years, and don't stop until you make $1 million. And you don't have my permission to skip to another business until you make $1 million. Even for us, we're close to that goal of at least hitting $1 million as far as our business income. So don't get distracted. The second thing is don't get discouraged, because there's gonna be lots of bumps. I know you guys run into bumps all the time. I see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, all the time. And don't get discouraged. It's part of life. And every discouragement moment is an opportunity where you can be stronger, you can learn, and you can glean from those moments so that you guys can go and not repeat those mistakes, of course. And another thing is it may just take you 2 to 3 years to even see your first check come in on real estate. I mean, the first 2 years you may struggle, you may be confused, or you may not know what you're doing, but it's kind of like the story that I tell all the time of the bamboo story. Like if you're planning on growing a bamboo, like a baby bamboo, you're gonna be watering it, you're gonna be, fertilizing it. I don't know if they fertilize bamboo, but you're gonna water it, and it's not gonna grow very much for 2 to 3 years. But on that third or fourth year, it grows 60 feet, like that. So your business, it could take 2 to 3 years. Who knows? It may take a year because you already have some skill sets that you built. But don't expect to be a millionaire and running for president next year. Starting. It's going to take a lot of skill building, the network, the relationships, to even hit your first check on real estate investing. So make that commitment. It always comes back to why you start this business. And if you feel discouraged, or if you feel distracted, or if you feel like at any point you want to quit, you have to come back to that why and figure out, okay, why have I chosen this business, and do I really have the gut to finish what I started? So that's my little advice for people who are getting started in this business.
Nice. I like that
Yep.
advice. Yeah, I mean, personally, I was doing networking and learning and things like that before I bought a single deal for almost 3 years.
Right.
So, and I already knew, because I was a contractor, so I already understood how the entire process worked.
Right.
But I didn't understand how the process worked in terms of real estate. You know, as an investor, I understood as a homeowner how that worked. I knew how to purchase the property.
Right.
I knew how to renovate. I knew how to sell it conventional. But I didn't understand the strategies, how to calculate ARVs and things like that. As an investor.
Yeah,
so,
it takes it could take a couple months, or even like I said, 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 years, just to get even comfortable with the idea that you're in this business. So just hang on tight.
And my first year, I only did like one deal. My second, about I guess you could say 3.5, because I started the fourth. And now, in total, we're actually finishing up a refinance tomorrow, thank God. Yes. And have I have 8 more projects that I'm still working on in different stages, and I know Joey has about 8 or so different too. So, it's all about growth.
You'll grow exponentially if once you get into it, once you understand it, you know how to scale the business. So,
absolutely.
It grows very slowly, and then once you hit that, like you said, the third, fourth, fifth year.
Yeah, it's kind of like a seesaw.
It just
kind
of goes up.
Success doesn't happen like this. It kind of goes like this for a while, and then it goes like that. You'll wake up one day and what the where did this come from? It'd be crazy. So
So
our inspiration comes in the hopes that we're increasing the quality of life for someone else, right? And we get compensated in that respect, that we're creating value for someone else. We're making someone else's life easy. So at the end of the day, inspired to be a leader yourself, and to be a leader, you have to take action, right? And the mindset should be, okay, how can I bless others and help others grow, instead of being me all the time. Yeah. That's
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for watching, and next week we'll have a jam-packed show as well. So take care.
Thank you.